Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Red Devils podcast. And I am joined here by Shawnee and Rita, as usual. We're looking ahead to the Manchester United versus Watford game off the back of a victory in the Carabao Cup, which I would say doesn't really mean much in the grander scheme of things. But before we get into that preview, I would just like to say that I think there's been a lot happening in terms of United at the moment. I would say we're going through a bit of a transfer crisis. And at the moment, the only thing that seems to be a glimmer of hope for us United fans is all the rumors surrounding Haaland. We've seen him signing a Manchester United shirt. I didn't really make much of that. And supposedly, earlier today, I think in the UK, it's come out that he is on a plane to Manchester United. For what? We don't know. Obviously, presumably for negotiation talks. I would like to know what your guys' thoughts are on the whole Haaland situation. Do you want him? Do you not want him? How are you feeling about it? And just what's your general vibe around the situation?
I think Ollie came out in the press conference. I'm not 100% sure, but I think he said that Haaland is on a trip with his dad for a holiday, and I was just wondering, like, how the heck does he know that? I know they have a relationship, but that's a bit. So I think the Haaland deal should come through. Whether I want him, he's not my type of player, but what I'm hoping he does is definitely gives us more options and a plan B for us.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think we'll definitely take him. I mean, he's a good player. He gives us a different option, but it's kind of difficult to get excited about knowing we have bigger problems in the midfield. And from the outside, it seems like nothing's going to happen in the midfield. So that's very sad.
Yeah, and I wanna talk a bit about that because we've got this situation. Ollie's come out in the press conference and has said we're getting a world-class player back. A few months ago, or a few weeks ago rather, he did say that it's like a new signing. Oh, it's like a new signing, but we all know it's not a new signing. Paul Pogba is, look, whatever you think of him, he is one of our best midfielders. But I don't know how to feel about this whole Pogba's coming back thing because I have two problems with it. The first problem is, one, I feel like the club is hiding behind it. I feel like Ollie is just hiding behind the fact that Paul Pogba's coming back. And everyone at the club is making it seem like as soon as this guy comes back, he's going to immediately make a difference. And that brings me on to my second problem. Yeah, like Pogba's probably going to give us a lot more creativity, but he's been out for so long that I question whether or not he'll be at the level where we last saw him. And this guy's been ridiculously inconsistent at United anyways. So, I don't know what you guys think about that.
Yeah, I mean, he was here at the start of the season and he wasn't making much of a difference anyway. So, yeah. And the club always does this. Like, earlier today, I saw a story saying the return of Dallo in a different position would be like a new signing. So these mind games they play with us. We don't want to make signings. So, yeah, it's really frustrating. Yeah.
Definitely, man. Definitely. With Pogba, it's worse because, like, how long is this going to go on? Because it's worrying because it's not just the Pogba situation. It's the fact that our midfield is just not good enough. No disrespect to Fred and McTominay. They've built a good partnership and they've been good. But a small part of me feels like they've only been good. Like, you got to give credit where credit's due. And I'm not taking shots at Fred and McTominay. I like Fred and McTominay. I'll preface my point by saying that. I like these players and I don't have an agenda against them. But I almost feel like the only reason they're shining so high is because our team is so crap at the moment. Like, legit. It's so bad, because nobody was rating McTominay, before he started actually being our only option in that part of the midfield, as well as Fred. Like, Fred wasn't playing when there were other options. But now that everybody's injured, and this is all he's had to work with for the last God knows how long, these guys have been playing and they finally found consistent form, which is great. But I just question, like, who are we comparing Fred and McTominay to when we say they're such great players,
Yeah.
I don't think they're great players, but I think at least they show like the building. But then again, I would sign midfielders. 100% first position I sign would be midfielders.
Who would you bring into the team if you were manager of Manchester United right now? Realistically,
realistically, I'll probably bring in like a Madison, Bruno Fernandes. Someone like a Yuri Tillman, someone like even Jack Grealish from Aston Villa. He's like, what a captain that guy is.
Yeah, definitely.
I feel like Grealish at the moment, in terms of the January transfer window, is realistic. And those are the players you should be looking at because, right, he wants to make space for Maddison. So buy fringe players, if you like. So like Paredes, like a Grealish, who will bolster our midfield, who will give us a better chance of top four, but then will not take the space for Maddison when he eventually comes.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
That's someone who has to come and replace Pogba after he goes in the summer.
That's true, and I'm still of the opinion that we need to replace Fellaini and Herrera because they just walked out the club and nobody did anything about that. You know, that will always be my opinion. I think you need more than just two sets of midfielders. Like, you need to have three players who are your first teamers. Then you need to have three players who can come in and do a job in case one of your first teamers gets injured. And then you just need to have like two extra squad players. That's what I believe. I think having great depth is the key, you know. And I just... You know, I know McTominay is in a good place right now, and he's sort of benefiting from this transfer crisis we have at Manchester United. But I feel like if the pressure wasn't on him and Fred so much, they'd be so much better players. You know, if they had games off, time to rest, and they didn't have to carry the weight of the team on their shoulders, especially with the fact that we're lacking a number 10. So it almost feels like, you know, Fred and McTominay have to work extra hard to help create chances. When that's not actually their job, at least not the way we're reading the information, you know. It's an interesting one. It's an interesting one. What I would like to see over the next few games, and this is moving into the Watford game. I think the Watford game is a very symbolic time for Manchester United. Like, the next few games are bigger than they would have been in any other season because there's just so much to talk about, isn't there? Like, whether or not, you know, this plan A that Manchester United have is good enough against the smaller teams, whether or not Ollie's ready, you know, or whether or not Ollie has actually turned a corner. I don't think he has because, you know, we drew to Everton. So I want to get your thoughts on whether or not our team is ready for this Watford game and the games going on after that.
Honestly, it's not ready. This team still can't beat the low block. If we have to attack the team, we can't beat anyone for shit. We couldn't beat Colchester. We hardly beat Colchester. The only time we scored against Colchester is when they came to attack us and we scored on the break. Plan A to perfection.
Yeah.
Yeah, Watford is obviously better than them defensively, so I'm not looking forward to this game.
Yeah, you just don't know what to say at this club. I feel like inconsistency we're gonna have inconsistency for the rest of the season. We're gonna be inconsistent. And that's
Yeah, go on. Sorry for cutting you off.
Yeah, that's so annoying. Like, I know there's this whole thing of we have to rebuild, but like, doesn't mean you can't sign players. I mean, I don't know what's going through Ola's mind that he thinks that he can wait for a specific player. What if another team comes and takes Maddison? Like, what is he going to do then? Yeah. So it's a very stupid tactic.
Look, I think this rebuild thing, or this rebuild message, or this message of the future that's coming out from the club, I'm not behind it. I don't believe it at all. I think there's a problem at Manchester United right now because, like, if you're going through a rebuild is not saying, hey, we're going to be better in the future. Going through a rebuild is, look, we're not going to be very consistent this season, but here are the changes we are making to the team. Yeah. And the problem with Manchester United at the moment is I don't see that. I don't see a rebuild happening. It seems like we're not even standing still. We're going backwards, actually, because, like, we're signing or giving contract extensions to players that it does not make sense at all.
Yeah.
Like the Matters, the Jones, Lingard. Matic seems like he's going to be a long-term option under Ole because he seems to be chuffed with his midfield at the moment. So that's my problem with it. And to be honest, I don't know. I agree with you guys 100%. I don't know what to expect in this Watford game. I don't know if...
What I am hoping for is that somehow, some way, Pogba is at least fit enough to maybe show himself on the bench. I don't expect him to play. I expect him to be back for maybe the Arsenal game. But I just hope that, he's showing something. Because I really want Pogba back. I think United need Pogba more than ever now. Despite him being inconsistent, Paul Pogba is still, he's got that potential to be a world-class player. And I believe he is a world-class player.
Yeah. I just feel like the structure is so incompetent. Like, what team would keep Phil Jones at the club for this long? And he hasn't been performing. Every single season has been horrible. But he's still here. It makes no sense.
Yeah, definitely. The club is messed up running top.
It's very messed up. Just like with Angel Gomez now, that the youth player Oli was so hyping up. Everyone was expecting him. He didn't play one game this season in the 10 role, and that's his position. He only came on like in the wing, and he never gets played. Instead, Mata gets played, Pereira gets played, Lingard gets played there, except for Angel Gomez. And now we're going to let a guy like him probably go.
Yeah, true. Look, I don't know, man. With all I'll say to that is, with regards to Paul Pogba, and I know this is not completely on topic, but with regards to him being a world-class player, I struggle to agree with that a lot, because I think in the football community we throw the world class around a lot, but just because you have moments of individual brilliance and moments of spurs of great play, for me that doesn't make you a world-class player. A world-class player is a player who's at top-class level consistently. That doesn't mean they're perfect. They're going to have the odd game here and there where they're bad, but they're consistent. And I just don't see that with Pogba. Even at France, he's not world-class all the time at France. I personally didn't see it. So I don't think he's got the world-class ability in him, but I think once he gets the consistency, then we can call him a world-class player. I don't want to just call him a world-class player because he's Pogba, because you have to be consistent.
Yeah, but I think honestly, if he has to leave United and go to a better team, I think it's done. I think we're going to see a proper Paul Pogba.
We might.
Yeah, I don't know. We'd like to think that, but we can't put all the blame on the club. So I think if he's gonna move, he's gonna have to take ownership and push. Yes, he's a world-class talent and he has the ability, but he's not consistent. And I feel like we can't have that any longer at United, because even with better players, it will pull us back if this player is inconsistent.
Yeah. And I know it's unfair to judge a player based on how the team is playing, but at the end of the day, world-class players do play through bad teams. Yes, they can only do so much, and they can only play in Spurs, but in Spurs of greatness. But they still do. That's the difference between.
I know it's a tough comparison, but Ronaldo carried Portugal for the longest of time.
Yeah,
pretty much, and he's not even a midfielder; he's up front. That's even harder. But anyways, So let's move along then. How are we setting up against Watford? I think this is. Look, I know for the last few podcasts we've been doing position by position, selecting the players. But I think a lot of this team does select itself now, and it's become pretty predictable. So for this week, I think we should talk more about the setup, and just not go in any particular order. That's got the formation screen there, the predicted formation.
That's what I predicted if we'd line up against.
Yeah, so we looked through this team, pretty standard. We've got David De Gea in goal. We've got Lindelof and Maguire as the centre-back pairing, pretty obvious. We've got Aaron Wan-Bissaka, a.k.a. the Spider-Man. We've got Luke Shaw on the left side. We've got Fred and McTominay. And then we get to the attack. And, it's nothing against Greenwood, nothing against Rashford, nothing against Martial, but Andreas. In that camera, it just makes me feel
thinking, I think... Pereira, I don't think Oli's going to do. I think he's going to play Lingard, but I would put Andreas there for the sole reason that I think he's been better than Mata and Lingard over the recent times.
Yeah. I think. Sorry,
everything that Lingard's going through. I'm give him off. Clearly, he wasn't at his best. He couldn't perform. Mata, he won't be able to play the whole 90. So I think I would play Andreas there.
Fair. I was about to say, I think the problem with Mata is he can't play the full game, so it's hard to defend him anyways. Even if Mata was on form, he can't play the full game.
Yeah.
Now, I was about to say one Mata. I think he'll play Lingard, but I feel like he should play one Mata here because we need precision. Like, Watford are lost. They are not going to attack us. They are lost on the table. They're going to come with Nigel Pearson as well. They're going to come and counter-attack. And Pereira is the worst of the lot in terms of that, in my opinion. So I think he should start Mata.
Look, I think Mata's going to have to come on in the second half. But again, the problem with Mata is he can't play more than an hour. Like at the 50th minute, the guy's already down.
Nothing against the guy. It's just,
nothing against the guy. But in terms of fitness, I don't even rate him for an hour. I rate him for one half. So I think he might as well just come off the bench and save his legs.
I don't know. I'd rather have him at the starts and have us go 2-0 up and then him go off. Because this whole thing of chasing, I really don't like.
I get you. But
it's all about opinion. And just like the right wing, I think he's going to start James. But I wouldn't start James. I think James would be more effective off the bench now. And I think that, I think Greenwood deserves a start now. I think Greenwood has shown what he can do. And I think, why not? What hurts giving him a run of games? Especially that Ollie said that it's hard for him not to pick Greenwood now.
Yeah, and you should reward good form as a manager. Like, you shouldn't stop a player when they're clearly on red-hot form. You should let them ride that wave of momentum and prove that they deserve to be in the team, You can talk about age all you want, but the kid's clearly proving that he's a top-class talent, so give him the chance. And if he starts to drop off, which he naturally will, then manage it, But don't take games away from him, especially when you could be resting someone like James, who's looked a bit overwhelmed and just a little bit, what's the word I'm looking for? He's looked a bit exhausted in his role.
Yeah.
I feel like he's trying to nurture him too much. I feel like he's trying to protect him from the sinking mentality in the club and preserve him for the future. But then the thing is, we need goals, so it's a tough one.
We need goals right now. That's the thing.
Yeah, and Greenwood can pull a goal out of nowhere, evidently.
Yeah, definitely, man. Definitely. Score predictions.
Usually I go to United win, but if I want to be realistic, I don't see us beating a team that will just sit back. And, it's the Premier League. We're away from home. I think it's going to be probably like a 1-1 draw.
1-1 draw. Okay. Right, so what you going with, Ben? It's a tough one. Yeah. It's a tough one.
It's a tough one. Like, I agree with Shanique's point, but it's Watford. Come on. They're lost. If you can't beat Watford, we should just pack it up, honestly. So...
This is about a lot of teams, though.
I've heard this all before. I've seen this movie.
Oh my god! I'm gonna go for 2-1 win United.
We need to download some new movies. I'm getting sick of this movie. But listen, the United likes proving me wrong. Okay, so I'm gonna go 2-1 to Watford. Wink, wink, and hope that something else goes.
Yeah,
I can't say United are gonna
starting whistle. All we ever want is United to go out and win there. But judging from what I have to me on paper, I'm sticking with the draw, or maybe even a loss.
I can see it. I can so see a draw happening. Yeah, I can so see a draw happening, man. I can so see a draw. I don't know how United win this one unless they dominate the first half an hour and actually score. I don't see them winning this one.
I'll be so upset if Ole counterattacks and start a game. Because what more proof do you need? What more proof do you need?
But he will counterattack. I remember in a press conference a few weeks ago, I forgot which team it was against, but he was asked about, United's philosophy and the way United are playing and whether or not he's happy with the attacking football or the counter-attacking football. And then he responded by saying, the word counter-attacking is a bit negative. I like to think of it as positive attacking football. And I was like, oh, God. He doesn't even recognize that it's counter-attacking football. Or doesn't want to recognize, rather.
I mean, that's the thing. It just shows he's out of his depth.
Ole's not an idiot, obviously. He knows what he's doing. He knows he's playing counter-attacking football. He just doesn't like the wording. But the point is, he hasn't even gone against that. He's basically admitted that that's his plan A. And, I don't see Ole changing against Watford. I don't see him deciding, this is the game where I need to change my ways. And we need to play a certain way.
Yeah, what I think Ole's plan is that he wants to take advantage of the pace in the club, but then it'll be that the midfield will take care of itself. Now, we don't have the midfield for that to happen. So with a better midfield, maybe that could happen. So like they'll be pressing the game with a slowdown, and because the quality of the midfield is good, they will create chances. But that can't happen because of the midfield we have. So yeah,
sorry to cut you off, but what I want to know is when will Oli go back to the actual 4-3-3? He can't if he can't do it against Watford and Colchester and them, even despite us not having the quality in midfield. When will he ever change it? Who says that when we do get quality players, he's going to change it?
And like, dude, when you listen to this guy in press conferences, right? Like, I'm not gonna come here and attack Oli for the sake of attacking Oli. You know, I've never said Oli out on the podcast, or I've never said Oli in either. I've just been on the fence. But like, this guy, when he comes out to press conferences, he just, you know, I understand he's Mr. Positive. I understand, you know, he likes to have an optimistic view on everything. But like, just the things he says, man, like. The things he says, you just wonder, like, is this guy coaching the same team that we're watching on the pitch, or is there some like green screen? Like, because I don't know, man. He never acknowledges any problems. He never acknowledges any faults, or it takes accountability. Well, although the irony is he took accountability for the lack of signings in the summer, and then went on to say it's okay. We've got a good midfield. Paul Pogba's like a new signing, so I'm happy with it. But like. Besides taking the blame for something that's clearly or probably not his fault, this guy doesn't take accountability for anything. It seems like everything is all roses and beautiful at United.
It's a bit of a condescending attitude, actually. It's like, you guys don't know what you're talking about. We're going to do what we do, and like we don't need to tell you anything. It's just, it will happen. Just trust in us.
And then let's not forget that Oli also said way earlier in the season, beginning of the season, he was telling some of the fans off. He was saying some of the guys on social media, the fans, you know, they just hide behind the screens or whatever. They don't know much. They're not a real fan. And I was like, what? Like how? We've been here longer than you, Oli. You might be a club legend. You might have played under Sir Alex. You might have won everything. But I guarantee you, I've watched more Man United time in the last decade than you have.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's just ignorance. No offense to all, like that's just ignorance. Because there's a lot of people out there who will say you're not a real fan, blah 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 blah. It doesn't just happen in football. There's a lot of people who like to gatekeep, and you know, you just gotta move on with that, man. Because you, as a fan, listening to this podcast, trying to watch United, googling results, even if you don't have access to streams, if you take time out of your day to go search a result. And you get upset when you see that the team has lost. You care, dog. Like you wouldn't be getting upset if you didn't care about the team. So, like the fact that you have emotion shows that you're a supporter of this club.
Just like if you're listening to our podcast now, it shows that you show interest and you actually care about this club.
Yeah, like otherwise, you know. So you just gotta ignore those.
All they want us to do is smile and wave. Nah, be fine. Stop being so negative.
Yeah, let's get piano manager, guys.
You know what? For anyone who just wants non-stop positivity, go watch METV, okay?
Seriously. Oh, yeah, I think we've covered all the main talking points in a record time in today's podcast. So, you know, unless there's any spontaneous topics you guys would like to talk about with regards to United, the situation at the moment, there really isn't much else. Well, what I would add is... it's not just the Watford game that's important for Ali. It's the games after Watford as well.
Must win games.
Must win, bro. Must win. How many points are you guys? What standard are you guys holding Oli to? Like, so at what point will you be done over the next 3 games? Like, what's the points threshold?
Let me just read out the fixtures. Our next fixtures.
You will lose to Arsenal.
Yeah. Okay,
that's
so
very possible.
We have Watford the Sunday, obviously. Then we got Newcastle on Thursday. Then Burnley that Saturday, and then Arsenal is that Wednesday after that.
Mm-hmm.
So
Burnley away.
Burnley away. Newcastle is at home, and Arsenal is away.
You know, when we go to Burnley, you know, Tom Heaton just heats up, dude.
So the next 4 games, you know, I expect probably a draw, probably a loss because we lost to Newcastle. So probably draw, and then I think we'll beat Arsenal. Come on, we have to beat Arsenal. Like, come on.
I think that's fair, but I think that's not good enough. I think
it's not good enough. It's not good. All he needs to show us now as fans that he can turn it around.
like from the Everton game already, I thought Ollie needs at least 9 points, and he's already missed out on the first 3-point checkpoint. Like that was the first 3 points to get him going on the run, and he missed it. Like he bottled it against a team with a new manager, and it's just, oh my god! Like I've got my head in my hands just thinking about how we actually drew to Everton and they didn't even score, and we're expected to go on and beat Watford, who are probably going to play worse than Everton, but they're going to sit back. And then we're expected to go to Turf Moor, where we just don't have good luck over the last few years. Again, because Tom Heaton's just a god. He has something against United. And then we got to go on to Newcastle, and we've already lost to them, like Shawnee said. So I don't know. I've lost hope over the next few games.
That United team made the Longstar brothers look like freaking Xavi and Iniesta. Boy. That's how it look.
Yeah. I honestly think we'll lose then.
Yeah, this might sound negative, but I will add this. I don't care if we beat Arsenal. It's not good enough. If we don't get any other points and we beat Arsenal, I'm not holding on to that.
Yeah, you know, if we can win the other lower team games before Arsenal and we draw against us, I'll take it. I'll much rather take that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I heard a United fan earlier, one of these United fan channels. I'm not going to give away the name, obviously, because I don't want to, bash the person. But I heard him say that he's actually happy with the fact that we're playing so well against the top six, and he'd much rather have us play well against the top six and lose to small teams, because at least there's hope and we're showing that we can play against the best. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, when I heard that, I was like, mate, the only reason we beat the top 6 teams is because they attacked us and they gave us space in behind. Like, do people not recognize that? Like, do people think that Ollie's got some other magical plan against the top 6 teams that works? But for some reason, that magical plan that works against Pep Guardiola, Klopp, Jurgen Klopp, Pochettino, Mourinho, for some reason, that same golden tactic does not work against. It makes no sense. We didn't win those games because we're amazing. We won those games because we sit back and we break, and we have a front three it's like tailor-made. It's a gift from the universe.
Yeah. And the thing is, though, even if Ollie's plan was just to counter-attack, you can do it to the smaller teams, Just literally give them the ball, sit back. Just let them have it. Like, they'll have to come out eventually. And we can just keep the ball at the back. Keep it out, make them come forward. And then go.
Though. That's the scary thing, though, because some small teams won't attack. Some small teams will play for it. That's the scary part. And then you're going to see, the thing is, like, there's 2 teams on a football pitch. So, like, you can't just kick the ball to the other team. Sorry about that. You can't just kick the ball to the other team and then run back and chill in your box. Like, you have to play. Like, you're professionals. You have to play. And the problem with that is you'll see a game where United are just passing through their back 4, and then Maguire's going to lob it over. He's going to play some diagonal ball, and then you'll probably lose it, or James will get it.
Mourinho.
Yeah, but then James is not going to have space, so James is going to try to do James things.
And plus, I think, at least between us 3 fans, we want to see United freaking play football. We want to see them go to everyone and just trash them. Take the game to them.
I don't know, man. And I want to be positive, but this team, it punishes you. They
need to earn our trust. That's the thing. This team has no right to have our trust.
Exactly. That's what
trust needs to be earned.
They haven't given me a reason to be like, hey, I think we can actually beat Watford, and we can beat them convincingly because I trust these players. I don't anymore. I would have trusted them if they beat Everton, because it would have felt like we actually turned the corner.
Yeah.
Especially after the Astana game. But I can't. And it's reached that point. And I think also as United fans, we've got to realize where we are as a club. That doesn't mean we've got to lower our standards or become apathetic. We've just got to realize where we are as a club. And look, if you want to keep getting your hopes and your spirits broken every weekend, that's up to you, my man. Mazel tov. If you enjoy being depressed, cool. But I think I'm getting to a point where I'm just going to reserve my emotions as much as possible and not get too hopeful going into these games, because I can't deal with disappointment anymore. Not for now, at least. I got to keep it on the down low for now. If we make it to a big quarterfinal or semi-final like the Europa League, then maybe your boy's going to be a bit loud in the social media. But until then, I'm just going to lay low, even if we win.
So if Ole drops points in every game bar Arsenal, does he get fired?
I don't
In
know. Like I said, I think City and Tottenham saved it.
Yeah, so here's the thing. Here's the thing. If we go and we draw to Watford at home, and then we lose to Burnley, and then we lose to Newcastle, and then we go on and lose to Arsenal or draw to Arsenal, but we play so badly, then I think Ed Woodward and the Glazers would be thinking about it and seriously considering sacking him. And if they're not, at that point, there's seriously something wrong with him. Like, there has to be something wrong with him. So I think if
We know
Ole,
there's something wrong with him. We do know.
well, there is something wrong with him. We know that, but we've seen that they're capable of sacking managers. So, like, yes, these guys are broken, but they are capable of making difficult decisions. They may not be the right decision.
If the fans put pressure, and they will. Trust me, there's definitely Oli outers out there.
Yeah, like Oli can still get himself sacked. So to answer your question, yes, but Oli has to lose. He has to lose at least 3 of the next few games to get sacked. If he goes on and draws, then wins against Arsenal, he's still going to be here, dude. Because we beat Arsenal.
The fans can get him fired. If it gets so bad that the fans unite and have a stand on Oli out, and we're very vocal about it, I think we can get him fired.
Yeah, but I don't. But that's the thing, like we want Oli to succeed. As a club legend, he is Mr. Positive. The players want to play for this guy. I want to see him change. I don't want to see him get sacked.
Yeah.
But another thing
he needs to show me something.
Another thing is that the fan base is very divided at the moment. I mean, you've got people getting Ollie's at the wheel tattoos and top reds singing Ollie's at the wheel every time he wins at Old Trafford. So at the end of the day, we as fans, sitting all the way in Africa can't do anything about the Ollie situation. Realistically, we can't do anything. Like top reds are still going to buy a ticket because win, lose, or draw, you have to support your team, right? You have to go to the game. And if you don't go to the game, you're not a true fan. And that's the real problem.
But I feel like even the top Reds have a breaking point because they love United, so they will get to a point where they're a breaking point.
I just feel like their threshold is much stronger because it's Oli. Any other manager, gone. But
I know if it was a Moyes or it was a Eddie Howe or any other manager, like a real manager in United's position now, you'd be fired long ago.
Moyes seen planes flying over Old Trafford saying Moyes out.
Yeah, exactly. So, man, it's interesting. I think the thing with Ole is every time he gets a good result, some people in the fan base forget. Like, they genuinely forget. Like, I don't even know, where to begin. Because even the players, with the Everton game, like, David De Gea and Maguire going, we're so unlucky. Look at the decision, VAR. I'm like, mate, firstly, let's take VAR out of the equation for a second, right? Let's just say... let's just say for argument's sake, De Gea's fouled, the free kick is given, it's not a goal, Lindelof didn't concede an own goal, and that game carries on, right? And let's just say for argument's sake, we win 1-0 because, Everton are just not good enough to score against us.
Yeah.
How are you happy about that result? Like, how is that a well-deserved 3 points? You beat a team 1-0 that had a new manager. That, like... I still don't comprehend
break down
the low standards.
Yeah,
but it seems like let's move away from the tactics, let's move away from the football, and let's talk about the standards of Manchester United. It seems like they've dropped, bro.
And the Glazers and the way this whole club is, they're trying to drop the fan standards.
Yeah,
and we need to not allow it. We cannot allow it. We are freaking triple winners. We are dominant. We are the biggest team in England. We cannot allow this to happen.
Look, I'm not saying we should go on and win trebles. Sorry to cut you off, but I'm not saying we should go on and win trebles. I'm not saying we should win trophies. I'm just saying we shouldn't be complaining about a VAR decision against a team we should have comfortably beat by more than just 1 goal anyways. Or
at least had the chances to freaking beat.
Yeah, we shouldn't need a VAR decision to give us 3 points against a team like Everton. We should be so far in the lead where we should be like, oh, we didn't get the VAR decision, but it's okay because we have a comfortable lead.
Yeah, it's almost like as you forget it.
Yeah, bruh, when did we start getting into cup final situations against Everton? Where it's we get the VAR decision, we win. We don't get a VAR decision, we lose. And now we're blaming the ref and not looking at ourselves. It's so sad.
Yeah, but let's just see what happens on Sunday. I think that pretty much sums up everything.
Yeah, it does. You know, this is what football does to me, guys. This is what football does to me. This is why I took a break from the sport. Because this is what it does to me. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think it's very clear that the standards were held by Sir Alex Ferguson, and I feel like the Glazers and Woodward was kind of scared of Fergie because he was there for so long and the fans trusted him so much. So I think as soon as he left, all of that was lost, all of it. So they could do whatever they want.
And also, Fergie's just that guy. Like, what are you going to tell me? I won your Champions League, so shut up. What are you going to say? I won you. That's Fergie.
Yeah.
My problem.
I seen a quote on United's Twitter today. Something about Ali saying that something about him and Alex, that when he was coaching, he was under the influence or whatever. And then one of the comments underneath it said, "Sir Alex made Tom Cleverley look like a freaking Paul Scholes. Now please do that with Pereira."
Yeah, no, it's true. Like, you know, I don't want to venture off too much, but we're almost done with the show anyway, so we might as well, you know, talk about this. I think it's an interesting topic. And a lot of top Reds get so offended when we talk badly about Sir Alex. Look, I'm not talking badly about Sir Alex. He was great at bringing the best out of lesser players. That's not an insult. That is the highest praise as a manager. You literally won trebles with the squad that I don't think many managers in the world would have done what you did with.
I don't think any manager would have done that.
Yeah, I don't think any manager in the world would have done what you did with those players. You know, like bring Pep into that situation where he can't spend 400 million and say, no, sorry, you've got one arm tied behind your back. This is your squad. Maybe we'll get you a Ronaldo and a Zaha or Luis Saha and maybe a Ryan Giggs, but you're on your own for the rest of them. You know, it just, you wouldn't see the same result in my opinion.
Yeah. But that's a conversation for another day.
That is a conversation for another day. And if you're a top Red who's a win-lose draw and Fergie's the best manager of all time and you're offended, I'm sorry, but that's the whole point of fan opinion. But anyways, do leave a like on the video. Please do subscribe. Sorry for the negative vibes, but I'm human and I have emotions.
Comment your emotions below.
Yeah, please. The more interaction we get, you know, the better it is for the community, guys. So,
follow us on our socials.
I would like to give a big thank you to anyone who has clicked on the video. Whether you've listened to the full podcast or not, don't really care. Whether this is your first podcast listening, don't really care. I just want to say thank you. Appreciate you, whoever you are. Thank you. Like, I can't say it. There's no other words. You know, I could go on, but thank you. Anything else, gentlemen?
Yeah, just follow our socials, you know. And yeah, much love to everyone who's been interacting, especially our social media. We're getting a lot of likes on Instagram specifically. We just need to convert that into follows.
Coolios. It's been a good show. 38 minutes.